Hey guys, what's up? This is Bharat Nagpal. You're watching iGyaan. Today we are checking out something exciting. We've got the Gigabyte X570 Pro Wi-Fi motherboard along with the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU. Without wasting time, let's quickly get started. Now, the X570 hasn't officially gone on sale and is not readily available yet, but it should be priced around the 19,000 rupee price bracket, making it a flagship motherboard with an AM4 socket. It does support 2nd generation Ryzen along with the latest 3rd generation Ryzen chips, which is why we are checking out the new Ryzen 5 3600. Now, the X570 Pro Wi-Fi is quite well equipped. In fact, the name suggests that it is a Wi-Fi enabled motherboard. It includes the Intel Wi-Fi 6 module, which also includes Bluetooth 5.0. You get Wi-Fi speeds of up to 2.4 gigabit per second. The I/O on the motherboard is also quite well laid out. You've got 4 USB 2 ports along with the Wi-Fi connectors. You also have an HDMI 2.0. You get a total of 3 USB 3.0 slots along with 2 USB 3.1 and a USB Type-C. You have your LAN connector along with an SPDIF out, and then you have your audio input and output ports. The I/O is also well sheeted and has a heatsink along with a direct touch heat pipe, allowing for better heat dissipation, and you also have a cover which has an RGB light on it. Now, the X570 supports dual channel RAM and has 4 DIMMs, which can allow you to add up to 64 gigabyte of RAM. You also get 2 PCIe 4 M2 connectors, so you can pop in 2 M2 SSDs if that is what you need. You get also 2 PCIe 4.0 X16 slots, so you can support PCIe 4 graphics cards when they become available, or even PCIe 4 SSDs. Gigabyte has also launched that. As a fully equipped motherboard, you also get RGB headers, a total of 5 with 2 addressable RGB headers and 3 RGB LED headers, and you also get RGB Fusion 2.0, which will help you control everything, including things like fans, graphics cards and RAM. The X570 has 9 temperature sensors, so you can truly monitor all your hardware, and it also has 7 hybrid fan headers, so if you want to keep everything cool and the temperature low, it can all be managed from the motherboard using Gigabyte's utilities. So for the sake of setting everything up, we used a Core P5 from Thermaltake as our test bench, and we installed the motherboard. It was fairly simplistic. We inserted 2 RAMs from our Beast build, which is the Corsair 16 gigabyte RGB RAM, and along with that we also inserted a Gigabyte 2080 Ti and a Corsair 650 watt power supply. Now, the BIOS of the X570 is typical of what you would find with an Oris motherboard. You've got your easy mode for those who are not going to be tweaking around the BIOS too much, but you also have an advanced mode with finer control over your voltages and your boot up sequence, etc., that you would usually find in a BIOS. Now, Gigabyte also offers a lot of Oris utilities, including Game Boost and of course RGB Fusion, something that I was talking about earlier. So with RGB Fusion, you can really control all the lighting of the motherboard, including the Gigabyte fan that we have on there and the Gigabyte 2080 Ti that we've also installed. You also get control of the RAM that we installed directly from RGB Fusion, so you can have your own color scheme with RGB lights. You can of course add addressable lights as well as standard RGB lights and control everything from the RGB Fusion app. Game Boost will give you some interesting enhanced performance while gaming, and you can also tweak around your settings for Game Boost as per your requirement. We did download a few games to test out how the Ryzen 5 will also perform on this motherboard. But before that, we ran benchmarks, and on Geekbench about 5600 on the single core and approximately 27,000 on the multi-core, which is impressive. Of course, keeping in mind that these are results from the Ryzen 5 3600 CPU. And since we have pretty high-end hardware in there, we were expecting a good gaming result, and that is exactly what we got. We got upwards of 60 FPS on 4K while running games at 4K, and when we dumbed down to 1920 by 1080, we got an impressive 140 frames per second and above while gaming at 1080. So really impressive hardware in terms of what is available now. The X570 Pro Wi-Fi is really aimed at professionals and pro gamers as well. It does offer up all your major monitoring requirements for hardware, as well as onboard fast Wi-Fi and lots of I/O on the back. Really well controlled in terms of thermals, and also has good amount of RGB on the board, as well as lots of RGB control for LED lighting. You also get a latest PCIe 4 slots along with the ability to add the latest Ryzen 3rd generation CPUs. We'll leave links to buying the X570 and the Ryzen 5 in the description below if you guys want to go check it out. We'll also list out all the other parts that we used for this build in the description below if you guys are interested in any of the other products. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed us checking out the new motherboard. And if you have any questions or queries, you can drop them in the comment section below. If you like this video, don't forget to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a part of Team iGyaan. This has been Bharat. I will see you guys in the next one.